Digimodify! Podcast activate!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 60 of Lost in Translationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
This week, we watched Now You See It, Now You Don't,
Or Guilmon in Danger, The Adventure in My Town.
and A Question of Trust.
Or Guilmon Evolves, Showdown in West Shinjinku.
Yeah, they say it really weird in the dub. I'm
Is
glad
it-
you also picked that up, because
is
they say it really weird.
Is it not Shinjuku?
It's Shinjuku, but they say it really weirdly in the dub. They've said it 5 different ways, like Shijoku and Shijoku. It's like Ken Ichijuji.
No, it's Heightened Vyuku.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be the biggest dreamer, da-da-da.
Running as fast as I can through the future and tomorrow.
Da-da-da.
Da-na-na.
Da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-na-na. Na-na-na. Da-da-da. Sitting on the car, fingers in the air.
Sway, sway, sway.
With some women with my fingers in their hair. Sway, sway, sway. Okay, actual obnoxious synopsis now?
You know I'll be the one that wins Street
Win
Fighter
the
tournaments. Get $1 million without even earning it. I got 1600 on my SAT. Sway. And I go to Mount Everest to learn how to slang them trees. Sway.
I am worth $1 billion. Scratch that bigger number. I am worth $1 billion. Alright, actual obnoxious synopsis though. Evernote. No,
This
didn't
is
crash.
chess. That's a checkmate.
Green tea from McDonald's. I drink that.
2.5 men.
I watch that.
Oh!
Okay, though, obnoxious synopsis though.
I am your Midas now. You thought you were the best. Minus now.
Oh, them sick beats. What's it called? The sick fires. The sick fires. That's what they're
Super
called.
hot fire.
No, the sick fires is when you lay down some sick beats. You go, oh, some sick fires there, mate. Because
No one
they're
ever
burning.
says that. No one
I'm
ever.
pretty sure Dave Strider said it.
No
and-
one ever said that.
Okay.
The sick fires.
Do you think by the time this episode airs, we'll know who our prime minister is?
No.
We probably still won't know who has Chisholm. Anyway,
Yes, Chisholm.
that's my electorate.
Isn't Chisholm?
Chisholm.
Chisholm?
It's Chisholm.
Chisholm?
It's Chisholm.
Chisholm?
You're
Does it
Chisholm.
have an H in the middle of it?
Yes, it's Chisholm.
It's Chisholm. It's
Anthony,
right there.
it's Chisholm. They say,
Why would they have that H
I live in
there?
this electorate. I've always lived in the electorate. Anthony Green says Chisholm, and therefore
he's
it's
allowed
Chisholm.
to be wrong.
Everyone says Chisholm.
No one says Chisholm. You made that up.
Well, I'm pretty sure Bill Shorten said Chisholm, and,
and he's
Turnbull
allowed to-
has Chisholm. Everyone's saying Chisholm.
You know what? They cancel each other out and they're both wrong.
The first episode that we're watching this week is called Now You See It, Now You Don't, and it's starring either Michael Cera or Jesse Eisenberg.
It's
I
Jesse
get them
Eisenberg.
confused. They look exactly the same. They're both
Not
white.
anymore.
They're both white, curly-haired men that look a bit nervous.
Jesse Eisenberg has become kind of more sharp and square.
Anyway, so that's the name in English, and yeah, you're right. And yeah, he's very blocky. He's a Lego man. Anyway, so that's the English title, and the Japanese title is Guilmon in Danger: The Adventure in My Town. What do you think will happen in this episode? Besides Guilmon being in danger, because you're not allowed to say that, you have to actually talk about what will happen.
I'm pretty sure that at some stage during the episode, Guilmon might be in danger. I'm thinking there might be, like, the enemy will be some kind of magician Digimon, but beyond that, I really don't know. There's not much to go on here, and I can't remember that, like, the end of the last episode was Ruki being kind of more soft and normal, so there's nothing really to go on there.
So do you think she'll be nicer to Takato now, or do you think she'll be the same and only nicer to Renamon?
I think it'll begin as nice as the Renamon, but then she starts, like, being more in agreement with Takato. So you don't have to be nicer to her, but you still, like, you don't argue as much, still.
Yeah.
The other option is that Guilmon is fighting something that is crazy fast, right? Then he's
Yeah.
doing, like, the instant transmission stuff, like from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And those are kind of the options.
Right. Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I'm a little bit afraid we might start wandering into Monster of the Week territory, where, like, the only thing they'll accomplish is a monster will show up, they'll beat it, and then that'll be the end. And we'll return to a status quo at the end.
Right. Do you think it'll be a good episode?
I have no evidence that it will be, besides that it's in Tamers, so...
So you're hoping that it's a good episode?
I'm pretty 50-50 on it.
Right. Do you think that you'll give it a good rating? What do you think you'll rate it?
I don't know, I'm sticking it at 6, which is, like, it's low for Tamers.
That is pretty low for Tamers. That's usually what we give the English episodes.
True enough, but, like, I don't know, the titles don't inspire much confidence.
Right. The second episode that we're watching this week is called A Question of Trust, or Guilmon Evolves Showdown in West Shinjuku.
See, that sounds awesome. Now, it's a really interesting discussion of what trust is in this circumstance, because, like, is it Jen trusting Takato? Is it Takato trusting Guilmon? Is it that the other way around? I feel like it might be, but I don't know, there's so many ways that could go. And that is inherently discussing character motivations, and that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yep.
So as far as the actual events of the episode, besides that they're in Shinjuku, I probably can't guess very much of it. But I can say that I might be annoyed by, if I might just skip forward slightly.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Here.
You can prompt yourself. These are just for the
You don't
notes
even
I'm
need
writing.
to be here. I can
I
just
know.
do this whole thing myself.
You could do it in your own self.
Well, like, I couldn't rap with you if you were gone.
Yeah.
So I might be annoyed, I imagine, if, like, the conflict about trust here is not satisfactory, much in the same way that Jen's backstory wasn't, but I have more faith in them in this series than I did in either of the other two. And I think it probably will be a good episode.
Right. And do you think, what do you think you'll rate it?
8.
Wow, so you've got pretty high hopes, but that's pretty average for Tamers episodes.
Great bait, mate. I rate 8 out of 8.
Wow, you're rapping tonight. Alright, so I guess just on to the show then. But Diginews this week, we didn't get that much. I mean, we got another design of an Impmon character. He's got, like, blonde hair, and he's pretty cute. And we also got the Digimon Adventure Try English opening, thanks to Lismet, or Mesono Jean Herald, on Tumblr, and...
It looks bad.
You know, it's fine. It just sounds like every other English dub opening we've had for Adventure. But part of it reminds me of the Digirap, because it's, the Digimon opening theme. I mean, it's different, obviously, than the Digimon opening theme, but it sounds the same. It's got Digimon, and it's fine. It's very Digimon. Yeah, it's Digimon. As for Lost in NewsLatelymon, we had reports from Fexmif on With the Will and Dot Yawning on Reddit that in episode 59, yes, last episode, there was some glitchy for like 3 seconds after about an hour and 4 minutes in. And I fixed this. I've re-uploaded the file, so it should be gone. But if that happens again, please tell me, because I always want to make sure that the episode is 100% great quality, and if it's weird glitchiness for 3 seconds, even if it's 3 seconds out of 2 hours, I still want to know. So thank you, Fexmif and Dot Yawning. I appreciate that.
I can promise you, because I saw it, the fixing process was the smoothest jank I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was great. There was Jay watched me fix it. It was fun. Now You See It, Now You Don't, or Guilmon in Danger, The Adventure in My Town, starts with big shadows all over the town.
Big creepy shadows.
It's really creepy, ominous music. In the dub, Riley and Tally are just talking so much.
And I believe they say something along the lines of, it's the, the biggest bioemergence?
Yeah, it's something like that.
No, is it a level of bioemergence more than we've ever seen before?
Even though it's not a Digimon.
Yeah, even though no Digimon ever shows up in this episode.
The point in the original is that it's something different, and they're saying, oh, what is this? We have no idea what this is. What could this ever be? And in the dub, they're just, implying that it's a Digimon. I guess they're trying to put suspense, but it's not putting suspense.
Also, it follows up this, really heavy, scary thing with Stretchy Takato.
Oh, yeah, that was very stretchy. We see that Renamon's still Cubimon, and again, it's pretty quiet. We just assume that, she's looking at Cubimon, and, we don't have to know what she's thinking. In the dub, of course, we do have to know what she's thinking because there's silence, and silence is naughty, naughty, bad, bad. So Rika is thinking to herself about why Cubimon would want to save her, and then she's like, could Data really have feelings? So I'm not sure why this needed to be put in,
We've already kind of established she thinks that they're feelings.
Yeah. In the original, it's implied that that's exactly what she's thinking, because she's just looking at her in the quiet, and she's in a school uniform, and Cubimon's still Cubimon, and she's lying down, and it's very sweet. We didn't have to know what she was thinking. I just,
What are you talking about? It was essential to the story.
Yeah. Takato runs out of the house in the dub. He says, no need to make breakfast, and then his mum says, we live in a bakery, is all we make.
That's not true. They make lunch. So usually, I'm going to be totally open with this. Usually I have more time to actually watch the show. Today, given that I have not stopped moving since 7 a.m., I watched all 4 episodes within the space of an hour by watching them all double speed. And so I'm going to miss a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, so it'll be
So
a lot...
business as usual.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of me saying, but before that happens, and... Oh, wait, no, before that... And you're missing something.
I know, my notes are really badly done and on all caps.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, oh wow, he's not going to do this for the whole notes, is he? And no, he did.
I considered dropping it halfway through and being like, oh, no, this is too difficult. No, it was super easy.
No, it actually, once you have caps lock on, you may as well keep it on, right?
Yeah. Or if you're like, what was it from Homestuck, that one guy?
Carcat?
No, the other one, the green one. And he does everything.
Heliborn.
Yeah, he does everything in caps, except some letters where he lets go of shift.
I forgot about Homestuck.
So yeah, he goes up to Guilmon. Guilmon describes a dream he had, and he talks about going towards some white light in Japanese, and he talks about disappearing in English, which is weird because I thought it was going to be a twist about like, oh, he's sleepwalking,
yeah,
and it's like, oh no, like that's the big twist. It's not a dream. But then they're walking by some house. And, like, very specific fence. It always shows up the same one. And he's just physically disappearing.
Yeah.
I don't really get what was happening there. I still don't, even after having watched it.
I think the tunnel was where that big thing was.
I know, but why would they disappear?
Plot?
I guess. Either way, the fact that in English he says he dreams about disappearing is completely nonsensical. Because he's kind of like a prophetic dream about it. It only happens right there. Mm. Side note. Later in the episode, he does disappear. Spoiler, it's not like they Chekhov gunned it. It is relevant. If Takato knew, because it happened multiple times, that walking past this house is where people disappear.
I would walk on the other side of the road, or at least, not have Guilmon walk next to me.
He could have just made experiments, like, okay, put your, like, paw claw thing here. Oh, you said to disappear. Okay, we'll just leave.
Yeah.
Take a different route home.
And then this episode would not happen.
Also, other Digimon walk into it, get half disappeared, then walk out, and like, oh, okay, that's fine. Whereas Guilmon starts disappearing, he's like, what is happening? Oh no! And then just stands still until he dies.
And Takato doesn't, think to... He pulls him out of it, but he doesn't think to say, oh, come on, you won't walk on this side of the road. But later on in the episode, we see, Jen and Ruki see their Digimon almost disappear, and they say, right, don't walk with us. I'm like, well, Takato, I love you, Takato, but you could have thought this one through a bit more.
Yeah, then Guilmon went all blurry, but then he was fine, I guess.
Probably.
There's a line. I don't know if they're talking now or later, but it's in a similar scene when they're it's before the proper disappearance. But just you catch Guilmon being like, "Takato is my mommy."
Yeah, that's when he's looking for Ruki. That's a bit later on. Right. It's funny. So Takato goes to Jen, and Jen says, kind of cold-heartedly, Digimon shouldn't exist in this world, so it makes sense that they're disappearing.
It's weird because he's so attached to. I keep wanting to call him Momentai.
Just call him Momentai. That's his name.
He's like a Pokemon. It just says his name.
Momentai.
It's so cute. It's actually somehow cuter in English because it stands out.
Yeah. It means no worries.
For the rest of your days, it's a problem free.
It's too late at night for me to sing.
Terriermon. I can't sing anyway.
In the dub, oh yes you can. In the dub, Henry is just hypothesizing about different outcomes. And he's like, maybe the real world can get rid of the Digimon data. And then Terriermon pops out and says, Momentai! And in the original says, you shouldn't make differences between the two worlds. And in the dub, it's kind of similar. He says, the world I'm from, the world you're from, they're just the same world if you think about it.
Terriermon's basically the Dalai Lama,
yeah.
Except an asshole.
He wants a burger with everything.
What?
The Dalai Lama walks into a McDonald's and orders a burger with everything because he wants to be one with everything. He wants one with everything. It's a joke.
I think you told it wrong.
I told it wrong, but also I think an Australian comedian told that joke to the Dalai Lama and he didn't get it. It
must be he walks into a burger place and asks for one with everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
He comes in and says, I want to... Yeah, someone... I don't know. I'm bad at jokes. I'm good at telling my own jokes, but bad at telling other people's jokes.
You're pretty bad at jokes, that's true.
Hey, I'm hilarious.
And then we see the Zipper Man, I think?
No,
walking around.
No, so...
But before that...
So Jen disagrees with what Terriermon says, and Takato runs off sad, because that's sort of just what Takato is known to do now.
It really is a thing he does a lot in both of these episodes, actually.
Yeah.
So kind of crap.
No, I love him. Go away. Takada's in class and he's thinking about what Guilmon will evolve into, and he says Shinka, and Juri hears him somehow.
Okay, he's whispering to himself, and halfway across the room a girl's like, Shinka, huh? Like, she hears him clearly enough to make a joke about it.
And the puppy says, 1.
Bark.
In the dub, it's the same, but Takada says that Juri now thinks he's crazy, and that's coming from Jerry, who is crazier than Guilmon.
Now he'll never get that sweet booty.
Guilmon is playing with Guilmon, and it's very cute, and Takada runs up and is worried because he was learning about the tunnel that they're building, so he got a bit worried, so he's relieved when he sees them. In the dub, it's really weird because when he runs up to see him, instead of saying, oh no, I hope he's still there, he's saying he must be so bored. So he's removing this worry that the construction workers or the building of the tunnel will hurt Guilmon somehow, or he'll get captured. And I don't know, it's just a really weird change.
Well, it's at this stage where you have to ask yourself, what is the thing that Guilmon's even in? Is it a mausoleum?
It's a shed.
It's made of concrete.
No,
and
it
there's a
actually
fence.
exists. It actually exists, though.
What?
Yeah, I'll take you there.
Why? You're gonna lock me inside.
Yes, and trap you there.
And give me
you're
a basket
Guilmon.
of bread.
I'll give you bread every day, and an Impmon will talk to you.
I have been craving bread. I want bread so bad.
This show is really bad if you want bread, because you just want bread more. I really want... This, you know how Code Geass was an advertisement for Pizza Hut?
It's true.
I think this is just a commercial for bread. When Takada sees Guilmon and Guilmon playing, in the original he's relieved and he sighs. He's like, oh good, he's still here. In the dub, he's like, oh great, it's Guilmon, because apparently no one likes Guilmon in the dub.
I don't know why. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's annoying, but he's
annoying,
awesome.
but he's a cute little bunny thing. We've got so much bunny in this show.
Yeah, buns.
And then, Takada says, why are you here? And he tries to pick him up, and Guilmon just, giggles and jumps away, and it's kind of cute. And then Guilmon says in very plain words, Guilmon goes wherever Guilmon wants. In the dub, Guilmon says, I don't have a home because I go wherever I want, and then he talks more because it's the dub, and he talks a lot in the dub.
In English, they're like, but wouldn't you be lonely? He's like, nah, no idea what that is.
It sounds silly.
No, he sounds so, he sounds sad about it.
Yeah.
Like, he's totally lying.
He looks like he's about to cry.
Oh, bun.
In the original, when he says, what's lonely, and then it's explained to him, he says, I don't know that feeling, and then runs off because he's just like, I don't know, you're boring now, I'll leave.
Why?
I love him. Then we find out that the bloke with the lighter is named Yamaki.
You find that out before this, actually. I've got it in my list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was right all along.
But we also know the organisation name in the original. Hypnos.
That is a terrible name.
The Pokemon.
That is awful. It's actually worse than the Pokemon because it's just a nose that's hypnotizing.
But Hypnos. Maybe it's Hypnos. I don't know.
Hypnos would make more sense.
Hypnos. It's probably Hypnos. I just can't
Still
talk.
crap, though.
Takada and Guilmon are walking along, and Takada asks Guilmon if he wants to evolve. And Guilmon doesn't know, and Takada says, makes sense you don't know because you were just born. And,
Fair enough.
that's firm logic.
Also, he hasn't scanned the evolution yet.
Yeah, he still doesn't. Anyway, in the English dub, Takada asks Guilmon if he wants to leave him for some reason. And then Guilmon says, do you want me to leave? And then Takada says that he's confusing.
A little bit.
This exchange just did not make any sense to me, and...
It's confusing, you say.
I don't know, I feel like he's already referenced evolution before, so I don't know why they're taking the reference to evolution out. I guess they're trying to make the fact that he evolves in the next episode not obvious. I don't know.
Fair enough, I guess.
Takado's looking around, and it seems... look, I think he's looking for Ruki, and he's miming her hair. Like, he's saying, there's no words, but, he's clearly looking for Ruki, and he's miming her hair with his hands. And it's really strange, because in the dub, he says, got these huge ears, and I think he's meant to be talking about Guilmon, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about Ruki.
She has huge ears, though.
Look,
enormous.
Okay, so my understanding is that in the original, they're looking for Ruki, because he wants to ask her a question about Digimon becoming data again. In the dub, he's looking for Guilmon because Guilmon ran off, and for some reason he wants to find Guilmon.
Yeah, go play with him.
And he does say in the dub, I think Guilmon went this way. I'm just like, but why? You're not looking for Guilmon.
You are now.
Why?
Why not?
Then Guilmon finds Renamon.
Doesn't he have he has a sniffy moment where he's like,
Oh, yeah.
And I only mention this because he has like a 2-second running thing, and from his perspective, it's 3D animated, and it just looks like the old maze screensaver from like Windows.
Oh yeah, when he's running through the alleys. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like, it has no relevance to the show, but I just want to mention that
is...
because it just stands out really obviously.
No, it's really cool. I like it. Guilmon finds Renamon when he's after the end of the maze with the Windows screensaver maze.
Do you like how there's an alley with absolutely nothing in it whatsoever?
Except Renamon.
No access to it. There's no reason for this dead-end road to exist.
I'm pretty sure it's based off of, like, they're pretty good geographically in Digimon.
But who would have built that? There's nothing on any side of it.
Maybe it has a corner we were just not seeing.
What do you mean? We saw the whole thing.
Maybe it goes longer. I don't know.
It doesn't. She was standing there at the end of it.
It's probably like a place where they put their bins.
But there were no bins!
I don't know. Well, they're removed for Digimon, I guess. Guilmon, Renamon's a bin. I love her.
Renamon starts talking in English, and she sounds exactly like Spider Lady.
That's because I've got the same voice.
I know, but this time they didn't even try to hide it.
It's also Togemon's voice.
Yeah, but they can easily hide that one.
Needle spray!
I talk like this because all cactuses sound like this. I would know. I'm a cactus.
Have you ever heard a cactus not sound like that?
Yes. One time it said, poke.
Was it the one in Final Fantasy?
No, it was that one I touched in Texas.
I've told you the story about picking up the cactus fruit, right?
You told me the story, yeah.
I was 3. I picked up a cactus fruit. It hurt. The end.
It turns out that cactus fruits have needles all over them.
It turns out that's one of my earliest memories because it was. I swear I was older, but then I talked to my parents, and my parents were like, no, you were like 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, I just remember that. But also, who just leaves a cactus fruit out, like, in a grocery store? Like, that's just mistakes happening.
Wait, are we telling childhood stories? I got a great one that I learned was even better today.
Okay, what is it?
So, when I'm really young, I was like 5, 5 is probably accurate. My sister goes, hey, gullible's not in the dictionary. And I said, that's probably not true. But then I forgot about it. And then like 2 years later, I thought about it again. I was like, and I had a dictionary. I'm like, yes, I can. And I looked it up and I'm like, there it is. And I waited and I was like, yeah. I'm on the way home. I was like, screw you, gullible's totally in the dictionary. I found it. And she goes, I know. You must have
made Melanie's day.
However, I learned a new wrinkle in this story
What
just
happened?
today. We're at dinner, and I tell that story, and Melanie goes, so someone told me the gullible wasn't in the dictionary, and I just believed them and started telling people. When she said that to me, she believed it.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
We were both fools.
That's really cute. So, Renamon says that Digimon are attracted to each other because they're made for fighting, and that's how they find find other Digimon to fight with. And in the dub...
Who were you expecting, boys? Your mommies.
Very funny. I don't think I have a mommy, do I? Wait, Takato's my mommy.
Ah, jeez, Guilmon, don't call me that.
Why not? You'd make a better mother than a tamer the way you baby your Digimon.
Ouch.
Oh. Mother is basically a child tamer, though.
Yeah, basically. Guilmon asks Takato if he's fighting Rika, and it's very cute, and it's the same in the dub, except Takato says, she's a girl, and she kicked my butt. I'm like, which is kind of cute.
Which foreshadows the actual kick.
Yeah. Not an actual kick. She kicks the air.
That's an actual kick. There's nothing fake about it.
And Ruki jokes and says, have you fallen in love with me? Is that why you're looking around for me so you can confess your love?
It's funny in Japanese because they say it once, and then in English they go hard at this joke.
Yeah.
They're like, man, you dreamed about me. That's super weird. Do you know that dreaming about someone's crazy? Are you in love? Or is that a thing? You want to ask me out? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it's like, it's really weird. Also, she's a friendship Tsundere.
No, Impmon is.
They're both Tsunderes, okay?
Like, it has, like, with her, it's getting there and you can kind of see it in the distance.
No,
Impmon is not even, they're not even trying to show you it yet. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones.
Like, remember Ogumon?
Yeah, Ogumon wasn't like that. Ogumon was a surprise when he turned.
I love him. And then he goes away, he's like, I don't want to hang out with all you vaccine-type Digimon, I hate you. And then he walks off and he has, like, his cool hat.
Then he turns around like, I miss you already.
In the dub, the whole tone is, as you said, it's a lot meaner, and, like, they really drive this joke into the ground.
And then they're at Ruki's house all of a sudden.
Yeah, because she lives near there. That's what... He was looking for her. The dub just doesn't want you to think that.
Look, Guilmon could have been around.
No.
Could have played with Renamon. That'd be awesome.
Takato says that, and this is the first time that he says this to Ruki, that he dreamed about her. And Ruki says that, and then he's like, oh, but it doesn't mean I love you or anything. And Ruki says that he's so immature he can't even take a joke. And, it's reference to the fact that she earlier joked about saying, "Oh, you fall in love with me, and that's why you follow me around."
I think that one's obvious. We did speak about it like a minute ago.
Yeah, I know. I know it's kind of cute because she's making jokes and she's not fully harsh. In the dub, she's a lot harsher.
Fair enough.
But I have an interesting feedback that we got in regards to Rika.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get to that in Postmon Pat.
So Rika's mom shows up, and
It's not that's grandma.
Grandma shows up.
She's the best.
Parental figure shows up.
Because the mum's young, remember? She's off
Yeah,
modelling.
fair enough. And what's it? Renamon sprint full Nelson's Guilmon out of the way.
And the whole time in the dub, Renamon and Guilmon are making these noises of struggling. It's really annoying. And while Ruki's grandma offers food to Takato, and Ruki says, "Don't worry, grandma, he's leaving soon," in the dub, Rika says it about 5 times. Rika says, "Oh, don't worry, he's leaving soon." "Yes, but he's not staying. Takato, you're leaving soon, aren't you?"
It's like that guy in Community who always says hello 3 times. Hi, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
He's going, he's out, bye-bye. So he does leave soon, as promised,
No, but that's after they have a talk about what happens to the Digimon's data.
I guess.
Yeah. So Takato asks Ruki why Renamon came to the real world and if they can become data and leave. Ruki says that they're data, so it's entirely possible. And then she looks at Renamon for a second and she looks kind of worried. In the dub, it's still a bit harsher, and she says, they're probably, I don't know, they're just data to begin with.
Which is weird, because she was softer in the episode that happened. And then, they finish their conversation, they leave, and Ruki's like, "If you call me Ruki-chan again, I'll kick your butt. Wow."
No, she says, "Butto kick." It's
Butto
really
kick.
cute.
This is my screenshot of the week. Of just
Yeah.
her doing the stupid air kick. Like, hey, yeah!
I love this part.
Who actually does a kick?
Rika?
Weird, right?
I love her. It's fine.
I'll punch your buns.
In the dub, instead of this being a Ruki-chan thing, Rika says, "If you ever call me Dream Girl again or mention that dream, I will send you to Dreamland for good." Like, why do they keep on referencing the dream? I think it's because when Takato leaves, he's like, "Well, it's not every day you get to meet your dream girl." Like, wow, Takato, thanks.
It was a funny joke. And she's like, "Go away. I
Yeah.
will kill you."
Then we see more about the Hypnos. They're having a problem with the big thing, and they talk so much in the dub still. Like, I swear, Riley and Tally do not talk in the original.
I swear Yoli talks so much.
I know, she talks a lot, but she, like,
Yoli's gotta eat.
the character doesn't, right?
Yoli's voice actor gotta eat.
I don't know, but in the original, the girls, they don't talk.
Not much.
So I feel like they
I'm pretty sure they're like, there's a bioemergence or some such.
Yeah, they usually just say, "Oh, there's a bioemergence," or, they're typing away at the keyboard, which is fine. But I kind of like how they're giving characters.
They're typing away at the cupboard.
Yeah. I kind of like them, and they're giving characters, but I don't think they have much character in the original, but I might be wrong there. Takato wonders why Guilmon came to him, and he says, "Look, I love Digimon so much, and the fact that you came to me was just like a dream come true. And I always thought it'd be fun, to have my own Digimon." And he says it's like magic. And then Guilmon says he doesn't know, but if it makes Takato happy, then it makes him happy. And then he sort of like half opens his mouth and goes, "Nyeh." It's so cute. And it's the same in the dub, except for this weird line about trying to skate on sausages.
That was the weirdest. I couldn't figure out the context.
Me neither.
Of
I
ice
thought I
skating
missed
on
something, and it was like,
sausages.
Calamon says it's like trying to ice skate on sausages. I'm like, okay. I guess Calamon really does talk a lot.
So no, there's one where Guilmon's like, "Ruki's mean. Her idea of a joke is to punch me in the funny bone."
Yeah.
Renamon, I think, was mean.
Yeah.
No, being scared is like trying to ice skate on sausages. That's meaningless. That is completely meaningless.
Is it like that, doing that? I don't know. Guilmon starts fading away again, and Takato hugs him, and Guilmon disappears, and his data fades away, almost like he's dying. Takato is crying, and it's kind of sad, really, and they've got some good music in the original. His Digivice starts pinging, and he runs off. First, he goes to Jen's house, and the little sister opens the door. Answers the door, and Takato is just a stuttering, like, screaming mess.
It should be.
And the whole time, all you can hear is Takato going, but Guilmon, get Jen, and it's like, that's all it is.
I know.
It's basically him just going, In the dub, however, Takato is calm and not stuttering, but he's sort of like, I mean, he's not fully calm. He's kind of like, he seems agitated, and Susie calls him Angry Kid and says, Henry, there's an angry kid at the door.
He's not at the door. He's on the phone.
No, he's at the door.
He's on the
it's
phone.
It's intercom.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, either way.
That's what I thought it was.
It could be, but there is a phone involved.
Yeah.
And she has like a little stool she has to get up on because she's short.
It's really cute. Takado's parents are sad because he's not at dinner, and they talk about how as kids grow, they'll do things besides be with their parents, like be with friends and play computer games. In the dub, it's sort of the same, except for they're going to say that they're going to eat the ice cream and say that it melted or something.
Yeah, but they're a lot more like, oh, maybe something come back to them later.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see it later in your notes there.
Yeah. Then we get to see what Ruki's grandmother's doing, and she's the best character ever. She's in a chat room,
She's
and
on MSN.
this is what she says. She says, "Oh, you know I'm too old for that. Ha 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 ha." Smile. I'm like, whoa. This lady's on like a dating site or something, I think.
I think she's on MSN talking to all her friends in America.
Oh no, she's talking to Willis.
Yeah! Willis's best friend, old Grandma Stank.
Seiko. She's my favourite.
Sorry, Grandma Swamp.
Because of the house, she reminds me of the grandma in Summer Wars.
I think you mentioned that before.
I know. I hope she grabs a sword and tries to stab someone.
It was a Nagitama.
That'd be pretty cool. In the dub, she says, and I said, girlfriend, not even, don't even go there, as if. So them giving
She
her...
is talking to someone in America.
Yeah, so she's using these Valley Girl terms, kind of like Mimi for some reason. Then Takato and Jen show up at Ricky's place.
Maybe she's a big fan of Mimi. I mean, Mumu, it is English.
Well, you know, they watch the dubs, so probably. Maybe that's her favourite character. Maybe she has good taste.
Maybe.
I love Mimi. We said the Hypnos are using something called Yugoth.
First Dagon, then Cthulhu, and now Yugoth.
Yeah. And, again, I feel like I shouldn't have to mention this every time, but the dub, they talk so much.
They can't just not talk all of a sudden after they've been talking all the time.
Like, I feel like it's pretty lazy on my part that I don't write what they're saying. I just write that they talk a lot, but oh my gosh.
So yeah, Takato takes Jen and Ruki down to the haunted house where all the Digimon start disappearing. A random one, I think his arm just starts going, and there's this really cute picture of just like of Terrymon standing there. He takes a sidestep and his ear half disappears.
Yeah.
God, I love that stupid bunny. It's
Momentai.
adorable. And then they're all like, so this seems like a bad idea. You guys go away, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to die. Awesome.
We go back to what Takato's parents are doing, and they're using all these excuses to leave the house. So the dad says, I might go for a walk. And the mum sort of says, I forgot to buy something. And they're clearly worried and they want to have an excuse to look for their son.
I think they're just going to different neighbours' houses.
Maybe they're going to visit Seiko. In the dub, they're talking about how it's getting late, and they seem to have a lot more words because instead of just slowly saying words, they talk a bit about how it's getting late.
That makes sense. Like they should be worried for their son. I mean, I'm an advocate of like letting kids play outside and everything, and that's fine. But it's a lights out rule. Like the street lamps come on, you come inside.
Yeah. Ruki follows Jen and Takato into the tunnel, even sort of after it seems like she was going to leave. And this is such a friendship Tsundere moment. She's like, yeah, well, it's not like I like you or anything. It's just that... It's just I'm a tamer and I'd never run away. And it's the same in the dub. Then Takato calls her Ruki-chan, and she gives him this, like, death glare, and it's a really well done moment.
He's like, Ruki, yeah, alright. Which is weird, because I feel like that's more informal. Just using someone's name without any...
I know, but I think it's...
Chan definitely means some kind of affection.
Yeah, it's
which
cutesy.
I think is always weird, because if you called someone that in real life, it doesn't just say you like them. Like, isn't that, like, 99% what that means?
It's anything cutesy, I think, and Takato, I think, just calls everyone Chan because he's
I
adorable.
don't think he does.
I don't know.
It's not Jen-chan.
I don't think he likes Ruki that way, though. He definitely likes Juri. And also, in like, since we're talking about Takato calling Ruki Ruki-chan, Takato's actually more formal. He calls her Kato, which is her last name.
I didn't notice that. I think because the subtitles didn't say it.
Oh yeah, but he's always talking to her by her last name, which is very formal.
Okay.
Even though he likes her, obviously.
They call it Kato-chan.
Yeah. Does he say Chan? I can't remember. But anyway, he uses her last name definitely. when they're walking through the tunnel, there's a lot of talking instead of silence, and Rika's a lot, like, being a lot harsher. She's like, why am I here? Why am I here? I'm like, because you literally followed them, because you said a tamer never backs away. Oh my gosh.
And she's like, but there's so much walking. I wouldn't have agreed to this if I knew we had to walk.
At least they're not walking through the desert.
You know what? That's fair. I appreciate that. I'm very happy they're not walking through deserts in this season, and I don't see it coming yet.
Well,
One day.
they'll go to the Great Desert in Japan. Their digivices start glowing, and they aim it at the glowing thing in the tunnel, and then they run into it and put their glasses on, because why not?
Why do they all just have glasses with them? Fine, he's wearing goggles because he's a stupid idiot.
It's to see through the digital field.
But what? Why would it help? The field is a fog, right?
Yeah.
It would get behind the glasses. This is why goggles would actually be useful. But if you were wearing sunglasses, like they are, the field would be behind them
I
as
just
well.
think it looks cool.
Also, like, both Henry and Ruki have terrible sunglasses. He has the weird John Lennon glasses, and she has these stupid, like, cat's eye ones.
Yeah.
Kill his tech.
So I noticed that this world that they pop into reminds me of a Pokemon's world.
Does it? It's pure white, not pure black.
I know, but no, because of all the colours, just before they go to the... I know, it's all... Because, you know, a Pokemon's world... not his world, but, like, the world he sends them to once he dissolves their data.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time...
All the binary numbers.
Like, there's been a computer chip world in this season. I'm not sure that
It's really pretty. I like it. It's all, like, rainbowy. I don't know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't think that they're related in any way.
I know.
Besides
I'm just saying that visually it reminds me of it.
Fair enough.
In the dub, Henry thinks that he's in the digital world.
Well, I guess... That's what I thought what they were doing.
Well, it does seem like they're going to the digital world. They're not. They're going to a weird sort of glowing orb.
So, I mean, like, what it looked like anyway was that they were going digital.
No, thank you. It's too late at night for this. We see that Guilmon's all tangled up. Then the Hypnos launch Ugoth to delete everything in the glowing thing. Which I should know a better word than just glowing thing, but I'm just going to go for glowing thing.
It's the glowy thing. The bioemergence
Jen
of nothing.
Jen and Ruki throw Takato at Guilmon, and he breaks free somehow from the tangles. I have no idea.
It's really meaningless.
Then Guilmon lights a path home with his face.
With his friendship.
I think it's that, you know, that hazard symbol on his face.
I'm pretty sure
does
it's
it?
friendship.
Guilmon, I'm your friend.
Takato man, friends.
In the original, Ruki says, doing all this for Digimon is dumb, and then she just walks off and leaves.
You do this for Renamon. Stop lying.
Yeah, she'd totally do it for Renamon. In the dub, she goes, yeah, well, Renamon could totally do the same thing. Even though I don't think she could, because it's like this red light, I don't know.
It would be yellow, though.
Yeah. Or blue.
It could be.
Guilmon in the dub references skating on sausages again. Thanks, Guilmon, for your
would.
input. What I like about this scene is that both versions have Renamon saying, you didn't even do anything to Terriermon, once Terriermon says, yay, we did it.
No, he was really important moral support.
Then Takato's parents find him, and Jen runs off too and leaves. And then the dub, they say they bought more ice cream.
I don't understand why Jen walks off. I feel like if they got their Digimon away, the parents would feel more comfortable with the fact that their kid wasn't alone the whole time.
Yeah. I think it's Digimon related, I don't know.
Digimon's bad.
What do you think this episode as someone who was new to Digimon?
This episode was boring and didn't make any sense. Like, there's some cute bits to it, but really it was just like a stupid problem of, this house makes your Digimon disappear. They didn't address it in a smart way by, not feeding a Digimon to it. And then when the problem, it got revealed, it didn't reveal anything. It was a white mass that could spiderweb you, I guess, and that you could send real-life viruses into, even though that didn't make any sense. I don't know. There was some cute bits to this, but it really was very weak.
Yeah. And speaking of which, what would you rate the episode?
God, this is a 5.
I gave it a 6.5, but actually, after, thinking about it again, I'll give it a 6. It wasn't terrible. I cared about it. I cared about what happens, but I feel like if they just didn't walk on that side of the road, the Hypnos would have still defeated whatever it was, and nothing would have happened.
I feel like watching this twice makes this infinitely worse. There are a lot of episodes where you watch them twice, you're like, yeah, that's the same thing. But you watch this one twice, it doesn't even matter that the language changes, it just matters that you kind of see that there's nothing to this episode. you get to sort of spot all the holes in it, much like a David Cage game.
Yeah. How did it compare to what you thought in Obnoxious Synopsis?
Well, I thought that the enemy would be a magician. It's a bit much. So that Ruki would soften a bit. No, she actually... We got to see that she was still, like... I mean, she did soften, but, like...
She softened to a Cubimon, which is appropriate.
Like, we saw the beginning, but she's really still, like... She's still mean to the kids, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I saw that the opponent would be fast. Well, there's no opponent, so I guess that's a thing.
Speaking of which, what do you think, like, usually you say, oh, there's always a fighting in the Digimon, and there's always evolutions, why they're fighting. So, would you prefer if they did fight something?
I mean, that's an interesting question. I think the ending is very much the same as if they had spent the rest of the episode just talking about stuff in a general sense, and then at the end, something shows up, and then they beat it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And, like, there's no context, and there's nothing to it. It was not a good episode. In fact, I would hazard that this is the worst episode of the season so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. You also thought this was Monster of the Week, and yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Well, there's no monster.
And you guessed a 6 out of 10, so you guessed it wouldn't be an amazing episode.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it a 6 out of 10. And what was the main difference that you noticed?
I mean, again, I watched this at 2 times speed, which makes it really rough. I think it was really primarily that they didn't know what to do with the Hypnos guys.
Yeah.
They just, like, they spoke all the time, obviously to fill a lot of space, but they just don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about bioemergence when there's a big white cloud which is capturing Digimon rather than spewing them out.
See, I'm going to say that my number one difference was when Takado's alarmed by his teacher saying there's a tunnel that's being built, and running to see if Guilmon's still there or is being captured or anything. And in the dub, they remove this completely and make it he's going to be bored, and more of the urgency being him being bored.
Well, considering that tunnel looked pretty much completely finished, it's weird that on the same day as... you wouldn't say, hey, there's a tunnel being built, like, when it's almost done. You say when they start building it. They built that huge thing in a day.
Well done, they did pretty well. They must have had a Digimon.
That's Japan, alright.
They must have had a Jumojimon, and they must have had a little boy with a little trailer attached to their Digimon pulling dirt to and from the dig site.
That sounds cute.
It happened in Digimon World.
Sounds cute.
Digimon World was a very cute game.
Or, a Digmon, I guess. That's appropriate.
Yeah, well, I say Jumojimon, which is like
Dig,
Digmon before Digmon.
Dig.
Dig-ya! Dig-dig-ya.
Dig-ya.
A Question of Trust, or Guilmon Evolve Showdown in West Shinjuku. It starts with Takado designing Guilmon's adult level, and he says that he wants to ride him, and he can't with too many spikes. And then he guesses a bunch of names. He only comes up with one name in the original, and it's Great Kudomon.
Yeah.
In the dub, he comes up with a few more names, and then straight away says Grelmon, which removes a part of the ending, which I thought was really powerful.
I didn't think so. I mean, I don't think that makes any sense this way either. But, like, I really felt like when he picked the name, it sounded really stupid.
Growlmon, because he growls.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Just call him Redmon.
No, call him Dinosaurmon.
No, you can call him Red Lizardmon, or you can call him Fireface.
Lizardmon is a Digimon. Flare Lizardmon is a flare.
You can call him
Fire
Digimon
Lizardmon.
with a tail and also a face and some markings on him, Mon.
Call him is probably a bit of a puppy dogmon.
Or likes to have fun, Mon.
Puppy Dinosaurmon.
Like, if you just name it about anything it happens to do.
Charmandermon.
Eats food, Mon.
Yeah, Breadmon.
Better than Agumon, Mon.
Agumonmon. Agupan.
Mon, Agumon. Pendula, Agumon.
No, thank you. We see that 2 adults are on a date, and the bloke wants to start smoking, and, he's about to light his cigarette, and Impmon offers his hand because, he makes fire, and then he freaks them both out, and he thinks it's really funny.
Impmon harassing people is a good time.
In the dub, the adults are talking about things they want, and the girl says she wants a fire and a comfy couch, and Impmon says that he's got the fire. So they remove the reference to smoking.
And he's got the comfy couch. Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, I swear this was a quiet scene in the original, right? That's all this podcast's going to be from now on, is just me talking about how everything's so quiet in the original.
He should have been like, me cracking jokes, I guess. He should have been like, you should open your mouth a lot wider if you want to eat each other.
Oh my gosh. We then see Guilmon's eating bread, and Impmon comes along and grabs it.
He
and then-
buried his basket of bread, by the way. He's just digging it out.
Yeah, that was really
it's
cute.
really cute.
It's really cute. And then he digs it out. It's so cute. Guilmon's a puppy, right?
Yeah.
He is such a... Can we call our dog Gil?
No.
Okay.
I refuse.
Okay.
No Digimon references.
No.
Banned. Or banned already.
Can we call him jQuery?
Banned.
Ajax?
Banned. Did we already pick one?
I don't think we did. I think it just depends on the dog that we get.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so Impmon asks for more after the bit of bread that he steals, and then Guilmon says, "Do you like Takado's bread?" And Impmon says, "I hate it," and then he puts out his hand. In the dub, he's like, "Why would you say that?" And then he still asks for more, and it's cute.
He keeps giving him bread. What a dick. I was so happy when Impmon eventually leaves, but we'll cover sort of the conversation more. But Impmon leaves, and there's still bread left over. I was about to be heartbroken. I was about to be like, Guilmon doesn't have bread!
Yeah, I was happy when Guilmon had bread left over too. I would have been devastated if he did not have his bread.
If he was sad because he ran out of bread, I'd be really sad.
He'd start crying.
No!
He would though.
Why do I care?
Guilmon gives Impmon more because he's a nice giving kind of dinosaur. And then he says, "You ate a lot." Takada says that you have to say thank you after you eat a lot.
And he's like, "Screw you! I don't say thanks to nobody. I don't need friends." In which, like, he is silently screaming, "I need friends.
I want
I'm
bread.
so lonely.
I like this bread made with love." In the dub, instead of Guilmon saying, "You should say thank you," he says, "Can you leave some for me because Takada won't give me any more till tomorrow."
Oh, it's so cute.
But I like how he's asking, he's like, he's got manners. I like the original, but this version's really cute too.
I don't know, but he also seems a bit more pathetic than just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, in the original, he's just a bit dumb. This one is like, "But I need some, though."
In both versions, Impmon gets grumpy because all Guilmon talks about is Takado, and how a Digimon living with a human makes him sick, and how it's shameful and pathetic, and he's living in a cage, and he's being fed by a human, which is strange because technically Impmon is also being fed by a human because it's the bread from the human. I don't know. Then Guilmon says that Takado is his friend, so he's happy, and it's the same in both versions, which is fine.
Well, like, if... I'm trying to think about it. If you were to break into someone's house, I'm not suggesting you do, but theoretically, if you were to
Play
break into
Pokemon
someone's
Go.
house and stole a loaf of bread, I don't know, for example, out of, like, a pantry.
So Impmon gets mad, and then he leaves, and he says he's going to go pee, and then he's going to go to sleep. And I'm just like, I don't know why, but this is really endearing
Yeah,
to me.
that's the best bit.
I know,
Peeing.
it's really I know it's endearing to me because it's just like, well, you know, I'm just going to go to bed and go have a pee and go to bed. And they changed this to him like, well, I'm going to be sick now in the dub. And I was like, oh, but I kind of liked how.
Oh, vomit! It's so cute.
No.
You're right. Bodily functions are my favorite.
No, I'm just saying it's.
If only he'd farted too.
I know, but it's just really strange when you think about, like, you know, them peeing, because Digimon haven't ever spoken about peeing before.
But we saw a big turtle pee.
Oh yeah, that's right. But it's, I don't know, Impmon's just like
Was
so
that
casual.
cute?
No, it wasn't, because he's a big turtle man.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Well, Impmon's just a weird midget dressed like a jester. Anyway, so we cut to the school, and Hirokazu goes like, he's talking about and then I played the high-speed plug-in age. And then you just fill in the blanks, you're like, and then I gave her the high-speed plug-in age. Boo, yeah.
Giggity.
And the teacher warns everybody, oh, there's some pranks in the park dressed like they look like a kid of some kind. And was it Takado theorizes that maybe it's Guilmon. Then he has an imagination.
It's subtle. He just sort of looks at his drawing.
Yeah, but then he's talking about it later, and he just thinks about it, and then he's like, wait a minute, they look like a kid, and he imagines Guilmon with a backpack, being like, I'm a kid.
Yeah, but that's a bit later on now.
I don't care, it's cute.
It is very cute. In the dub, instead of Kazu talking about cards, he's talking about how he basically idolizes the prankster, and he's saying, man, I wish that was me. I wish I thought of that.
I wish I could set fire to random people in the park.
One of Juri's friends says the prankster must be one of the boys in their class, and then look at Kazu's group. Then Takado looks stressed because he thinks it might be Guilmon. And Juri says that, don't worry, they're just joking. In the dub, she's like, don't worry, nobody thinks it's you, Takado. Like, no.
No, you're so lame, Takado. No one thinks you're creative enough to do that.
Takado and Jan are talking about who it could be. And then Jen says, no, they said it looks like a kid. It can't be Guilmon. And then he imagines Guilmon with a backpack, and it's really cute.
And then Terriermon pops out of the tree, upside down.
To break everyone's heart by saying,
Moment time!
it could still be Guilmon.
So cute.
In the dub, he says, they say it's a kid because it's too small to be an adult. Doesn't mean it's not Guilmon. Like, oh. We then find out the teachers are going to start patrolling the park, and then this is where Guilmon is burying the bread.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh no, he was digging it out before, now he's burying it.
Yeah, and Ducato says, why are you doing that? And he's like, I don't know, makes sense. And he's like, well, Logic isn't your middle name.
It's like,
and
I'll eat it later.
And then Guilmon says, I don't have a middle name.
And I think in my notes say, like, Takata, you could have given him a middle name.
I know.
No, sorry, you could have scanned him a middle name.
Yeah.
Still could, probably.
I just thought that was a really cute line in the dub. At night, the male teacher's getting all flustered by looking at all the couples kissing, and he says it's indecent. Then
but he's not really saying that, because he's all like, we're blushing around the teacher, once on Kari, like everyone else did. Ooh.
And then Mrs. Saji, I think, is him, like, hitting on her because she's suddenly really uncomfortable?
Yep, straight up.
And she says, I have something to do, and then she walks off.
In English, she says, I think I left my oven on. Why is that what she had to say?
Because she's a woman.
Yeah, I know.
And she can't cook like every other woman in the show.
Oh, I forgot. She can't cook, so she can't even use the instruments of cooking.
Impmon visits Guilmon, and Guilmon asks, hey, do you want more bread? And Impmon says that Guilmon should leave and have fun. And Guilmon gets all happy. He's like, oh, fun, play. And this is my screenshot of the week.
He's so cute. I love him so much.
I love him. He's such a puppy dog. And then he realizes, but Takato told me not to leave. And Impmon, for some reason, calls him a pineapple head.
That's weird, but it's just as weird as Goggle
And
Head.
it's in the dub, obviously. But pineapple head, he doesn't... You know who looks like a
red.
pineapple? Ruki looks like a pineapple.
She does.
Why didn't they... He's called...
Oh, they could have saved that.
He called Guilmon a pineapple head. I feel like
Maybe because he has spikes on his head?
So this is how I feel it went. In the dub meeting room, they were talking about things they could have, like, what about pineapple head? And they're like, yeah, that's what you can call Ruki. And then, like, that part got kind of cut off and they said, pineapple head, that's an insult.
Yeah, goggle head, yeah. Everyone here wears goggles.
Yeah.
Including Jen somehow.
Impmon leaves and says, well, see ya, baby. And then Guilmon leaves because he wants to have fun. Well, no, in the dub, he just makes him come along by saying he's not fun.
Well, no, that's the thing. He specifically, in one of them, he goes, well, I'm going to have a lot of fun without you. He's like, oh, I love fun. And the other one's like, you're not fun. He goes, what do you mean I'm not fun? The difference is that in one of them, he's tempting him. And the other one, he's kind of like insulting him and making him prove something. And I kind of like that he's tempted because he's like a puppy.
Yeah.
Rather than he has like distinct feelings
about
his honor. But what I really like about this scene is that, like, you've seen him move towards the fence and be like, oh, I can't go there. And then you see him think about it and you're like, fun, I love fun. Then it cuts to him already outside and he's running outside.
It's still, but he's just a puppy and he's a baby and he doesn't really think things through and it's so cute.
Then a police officer harasses Takato.
And I feel like it's got the same voice as Edamon, but I also feel it's meant to be Foghorn Leghorn. I say boar, I say boar.
That's Foghorn Leghorn, but I want to say, oh, hey kid, what are you doing in my pocket?
I feel like it was a cross between Edamon and Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn Edamon.
I say, I am the biggest star that you ever did see, boy.
His teacher sees him, and then she pretends to be Ducato. In the dub, I feel like Mrs. Saji actually explains. She says, oh, you see, we were together, and then I saw a friend, and then we got separated. But in the original, it's just sort of left up to the viewer's interpretation of what she might have said.
Yeah, but even so, like, wouldn't there be a scene of her asking, like, what are you doing out here?
I feel like she does in the next scene, but Ducato runs off because he's worried about Guilmon.
Fair enough.
So Impmon's showing Guilmon how to scare couples. Guilmon says that this isn't fun and he wants to go home. Then when Takato is with Mrs. Saji, Takato imagines Guilmon being locked up in a pet control van and then imagines him being shot by officers. And I'm surprised they keep this.
Well, I mean, like, it's weird because, A, if he was stuck in a truck, he blew up a wall one time, so there's no way a truck could stand up.
I don't think Takato's thinking straight
about it.
And
then, like, bullets. We've seen tons of Digimon take tank shots.
Or Renamon using her attack, which just sort of bounces off Guilmon.
Yeah, which are probably harder than bullets.
Which makes sense because she is data and he is virus.
No, it makes sense because she is not the strongest Digimon and he is designed to be.
Well, he's not Impildramon.
Well, he's the second strongest.
So Takato runs off to see where Guilmon is, and then he sees that Guilmon's not there and he starts being really upset. Then Guilmon runs up to him and says that he's been scaring people, but it wasn't fun. And then Takato thinks that means that he's the prankster, and he calls him an idiot, and he says he was worried, and then he says that he hates him, and then he runs off.
Which is a really crappy reaction. Like, it's very snap. It makes no sense. And it's kept in both, because obviously, but just, it's so weird and pointless.
I think the dub is a bit softer. He just says, I've had it with you, instead of I hate you.
Yeah, but it doesn't come out of anywhere. It's super pointless. Now, sorry, I want to interrupt because I was just thinking about something completely different.
Yeah.
Just about how the kids got their Digimon.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm trying to figure out why that scene with Ruki happened with all the Digimon around. And because that's meaningless, why would Gates the Digiworld open? And then I realized, what's his name? Jen had his Digimon already loaded into his computer.
Yeah.
So he had a physical file there. What's his name? Takato had his drawing, which he also had to scan.
Yeah.
And that was a physical file he had. I think that her scene was not real. I think it was a metaphor for her giant card collection.
Yeah, and
she just picked Renamon.
No, that makes sense. If you look at, maybe she's got like a huge card binder and she has all her Digimon.
And she's looking through it like, yeah, I want a strong one.
Yeah.
And then she picks this one because it like speaks to her.
But I do like how they all want to be her partner. And
Which
I mean,
would explain why there's so many weird Digimon around.
Yeah.
Like a Pokemon would just be a card that's sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's good, but it's not the one I want.
But why were there in training Digimon? There were no in training Digimon cards.
Is there? Aren't there?
No.
Well, whatever.
They start at child.
It's a TV show. You can make them up.
Yeah. But, I mean, I do like that.
And they might show up on, like, power, on, like, the power card
power
or something.
cards,
It might just be in the art.
Yeah. It is cute, though.
Because the fact that 3 digital gates opened in her bedroom makes way less sense than she just scanned a card.
Or maybe they still came up there, but they are cards that she uses, because we have seen that cards do exist in the digital world in some, like,
Well, kind of.
in this between world.
If that wasn't, like, a big coincidence.
Yeah. So maybe it's sort of both, like this is her card collection, but they've also sort of come to life to say, we want you as a partner. I don't know, I like that the fact that, you know, she's just looking at her cards and she's saying, yeah, Digimon.
Is there a card that's... I'm sure there is. There's a card that says evolve? Or is it... You have to use...
You have to do... Like, there might be one that says evolve without any, you know, offlining any cards.
Okay, because my theory is that Guilmon is one of those. So to go back to the show, Takato is being a dick.
Yeah, and Guilmon does this really guilty face, and it's like Digimon shaming.
Also, importantly, Takato just does not at all hear the word we. Guilmon says we were out scaring things. He should have said, what do you mean we? And then he would have worked it out.
He just heard scaring people, and he already had his doubts about Guilmon scaring people.
But Guilmon said it was no fun, though.
Yeah. But he only heard the scaring people part.
What a crap 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old.
Impmon's bored of scaring people, and then a Digimon realizes, and Impmon gets excited and starts to make fun of the Digimon for being dumb and stupid because he's behind a digital field. Impmon then makes a hole with his finger because he's dumb.
He's real dumb.
And Digimon just gets out. You know, the big scary horse devil dragon demon. My favourite part is when, in the dub, Mrs. Saji says, that was no pigeon.
So everyone's straight up seeing Digimon. Like, not just like, oh, that might be a cosplay. Like, that's a dragon.
Including a drunk old man at a barbecue.
Irrelevant. He's drunk. He won't remember.
But he has that anime blush that the people who are drunk on sake have.
It's so weird, though, that they, like, committed to, like, everyone saw Digimon this early in the season.
Yeah.
Because how do you talk about this?
It's Japan.
And they try to like, wave it off with Hypnos, and they're like, media blackout, make sure no one records this.
Yeah.
But everyone saw it. Thousands of people saw this dragon fighting Godzilla in a moment.
Dividramon then sees Guilmon and charges at him. In the dub, he talks, and I think he's trying to be Blackwall Greymon because he says, who out there is worthy of me?
Sorry, the voice is, who out there is worthy of me?
That's 100% how Blackwall Greymon talks. It's canon now.
I'm the strongest. No one... I'm made of black towers, and I'm sad. Are you the person who made me? Again? I know I've met you 4 times.
Oh, my child. The Hypnos guy sees him out the window and he's like, oh, this is going to be a problem. I'm like, yeah, well done, Yamaki. Then Takato is with Guilmon, Ruki and Renamon show up, and Renamon says, "This is Guilmon's fight. You mustn't interfere." When Ruki looks like she's about to card slash.
But it's weird because you'd think that she'd be like, I want to get this data.
I know,
delicious
but
data.
I think Renamon has some honor here, and she's like, no, this is Guilmon's fight because he needs to have plot with his partner.
She needs plot. It's real important.
It's really important. Then Jen shows up with Terriermon, and Terriermon starts saying, Stato, Stato, Stato!
Yeah, fight!
Like, yeah.
Kill each other,
And then,
yeah!
and then Jen says, you talk too much. I'm like, I love their dynamic.
You talk too much.
Because they have, like, I really like their dynamic because it's like, you know, the straight-laced, quiet, level-headed bloke, and then he has, like, this crazy Digimon who's just
love
nuts.
his stupid psycho bun.
I love him. In the dub, Terriermon says, right in the line of fire! And Henry says, that doesn't help. I think I prefer the original, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Takato card slashes a bunch of cards.
He still doesn't have an animation.
And no animation.
I guess
He's the main character.
you only get an animation if you win with it.
Yeah. Ruki's watching him, and she's just like, he's not doing anything. He has no idea how to use the cards. Speed's useless in this scenario. And then in the dub, Henry calls him a basket case for some reason.
Also, it's not true. Speed's always useful.
Yeah. Diginews pins down Guilmon. Impmon's cheering for Diginews and slips off the sign. It's kind of cute. In the dub, he keeps on calling Guilmon a pineapple head for some reason.
Yeah.
Then Terriermon sees him and starts laughing at him. Impmon sneezes, and this is like this... I know this is a lot in anime, but when someone's talking about you behind your back, you're meant to sneeze.
Is that a thing?
I first saw it in an anime called Nadia, which is meant to be 10,000 Digileagues, not regular leagues under the sea.
Wow, okay, sure. 10,000 leagues under the sea.
Yeah, that one.
Also, Terriermon is hanging on to the branch by one ear and pointing to the other. It's super cute.
In the dub, instead of sneezing, because that's not a thing in Western culture, Impmon wipes his eyes and says, I think I must be seeing things because I just saw a dog-eared bunny rabbit.
Also, you can do a thumbs up with it.
I know, it's really cute.
It's amazing.
So this is when he does the thumbs up. He runs up to Takato and says that Impmon was the prankster the whole time. It wasn't Guilmon. In the dub, Terriermon calls Takato Takatomon and also calls Impmon a puppy kicker.
No.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure he has the same voice as Ken in the dub. Takato then says sorry to Guilmon. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the joke? It was, would you punch a cactus or kick an up dog?
I'm not even going to reply to that. Takato then says he's sorry to Guilmon and that he shouldn't give up. And Guilmon is happy that he's not angry. Then Calumon shows up and glows, and then evolution happens. Takato sees him, and we have sort of like mid-evolution pauses. And during the evolution, Takato says, Guilmon! And that's his name now.
It's it's like...
He does name him, though, and it's cute.
I know, but it's one of the dumbest, naming things off the top of your head. Like, I'm reading the King Killer Chronicle at the moment, and he has, a whole paragraph about what to name his horse, and he sets out the whole reasoning of it, and it's really in-depth and interesting. And then this one's like, he growled, he's Guilmon! That would be like if the first time you ever, saw a dog, it was eating, food.
But in the original, the name is Gromon, as in grow, as in he's bigger now.
I think that's funnier.
Yeah. But in the dub, because he's already named it, it's a smaller moment. He just says Guilmon, and then he says, bullseye, baby!
It's bingo or perfecto. Get it right.
Yeah, but for some reason Davis said bullseye, baby this one time very quietly, and now it's a thing. Thanks, bullseye, Davis. Baby. It's something that Davis left for us.
No.
Guilmon grows a mullet, and something really weird happens in the dub. Takato says, Guilmon Digivolve 2, and then Gromon says Growlmon. So this is weird because for some reason Takato joins in on the evolution. It's kind of weird.
It's even weirder that he has an evolution, considering he was never designed to have one. And
he didn't card slash at first. In the dub, Growlmon calls out his attacks instead of roaring and sounding monstrous, which is this thing again, it's less scary in the dub because in the original he's just going rah, 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 and he's being, monstrous. And in the dub, he still has a personality.
Which is weird because, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger of, he's a monster, what do you do? He's uncontrollable.
Yeah. But
now he's talking. He must be reasonable.
In the dub, Takato also seems less worried until Guilmon gets hurt, obviously. And he's just in the original, he's just well, what's happening? This is weird. He's a monster. Because, he's not talking, he's being monstrous.
And then Ruki's well, you gotta slash to life. Card slash the energy.
So this part where Guilmon gets thrown into a bridge and then gets up reminds me a lot
The prequel?
of the prequel, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not sure if it's meant to be a reference.
They
but it's
really
just-
like those bridges.
It's through a bridge, and he gets up, and his eyes are glowing, and I don't know. It just reminds me of the prequel. Not sure if it's a reference or if it's just they really like blowing up bridges for some reason.
They do.
Then Guilmon kills Digimon and absorbs his data and roars, and it's the same roar from the start of Biggest Dreamer. You know how there's that roar?
Nope.
Okay, well there is. In the intro. It's cute. I like it.
And I was like, oh, he ate that guy. Whoa.
Too spoopy.
Plot twist.
What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
It was fine. Like, it had a decent plot to it. I think Impmon's thing setup is interesting. I think sort of revealing what Guilmon's role is and why they were randomly showing up at, like, Renemon's fight.
Yeah.
And explaining to an extent, the evolution thing. There's some good stuff there, but I think the episode really gets hurt with, like, Takato randomly just turning his back on Guilmon for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of situations. There's a lot of situations in media which I hate. And I don't know what to call them exactly, but I think you can all sort of understand what I'm saying when I say a situation that would be perfectly solved if people stopped to talk to each other for, like, 30 seconds instead of instantly reacting on a knee-jerk.
That happens in a lot of TV shows, though.
It does. And you go, if you just talked for like 6 seconds, this would all be solved.
Yeah.
But instead, they have their weird reactions. And this is an exact situation of that. And it's super frustrating. And you know what? The fact that he's 10 mitigates that slightly, but like not enough.
What rating would you give the episode?
I want to say like a 7, and I'm going to say it had the potential for like an 8 because of the ending's really strong, but it pulls itself down like a full point at least for what I just complained about.
I gave it an 8. I liked the episode, and it's really, I like it. It's sweet. How did it compare to what you thought in Obnoxious Synopsis?
I thought that I apparently was very confused, and as far as I know, I mean, like, I didn't know what they would mean by trust, and now I kind of understand it had to do with the pranks in the park and everything. I could never have called that. And I said that I'd be annoyed if the conflict was bad, and you know what? It was, and I am. And it lost a full point as a result. I still think the episode was good, but it was a lot worse than it could have been.
What was the biggest difference that you noticed?
I mean, the one that I really identified was just like, especially watching in the order we do, seeing right at the end of Japanese, and he's like, well, bam, Guilmon, okay, cool, I picked it right at the end. And then you watch the episode again, and right at the beginning, he's like, I think we should go with Guilmon. And it's like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, it seems strange, because it's not an impulse, it's something he planned long in advance.
The biggest one to me was the cigarette, because it was just cutting a scene, and there weren't too many, like, differences that actually, like, stuck out so much. I guess the whole Takato saying Guilmon Digivolve 2 in his Digivolution sequence was a bit strange.
That's true, although I missed the cigarette one mostly because it was running at double speed, and it's really hard to catch minor missing animation when that happens.
Yeah.
It was important, I had work today.
You did very well. Now we've seen all the main characters Digimon evolve. Who had the best evolution trigger?
Trigger? Well, the thing is, I mean, Terrimon's was nothing, right? It was just nothing. He was just in a fight and he had fun. Guilmon's one was, like, redeeming nothing. So I guess Ruki had the best one?
Yeah, I like Ruki's.
Because it was a bit earned. It was too fast in the season, but, like, I think it was definitely earned. It was a lot like, especially because of the spider attacking Ruki all the time, it was a lot like when Lady Devimon was trying to kill Yoli.
Yep.
Yeah,
and the Digimon was like, I have to fight or my partner's going to die.
Yeah, so it had something to it.
Yeah.
It had gravitas.
Did that one make you care at all, or did it still not make you
What
care
do you
enough?
mean?
Well, in Adventure, you never seemed to care much whenever there was an evolution. Maybe because in 02 they were happening every episode.
Yeah, they just happen all the time. And not really. I think they pulled the trigger on it too early. That said, I always care when Gargamon evolves because the trigger isn't what's interesting. It's how you deal with him after he's there.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually more interesting in that you have to deal with a new character, very much like the Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
Where, like, you're not really that interested in what made Bruce Banner angry. It's now what do you do? How do you calm the Hulk down? What stuff do you try? The fact is, I don't think it doesn't look to me anyway that there's a distinction between Renamon and Cubimon. So, even though the trigger was interesting, I don't think that makes the character any better because they're just stronger now.
Yeah.
Whereas if they become a different person, that's cool.
So you think they're better than previous seasons' first, few evolution episodes?
I mean...
It was definitely slower.
Because there were less of them, yeah.
And we got the Goggle Kids episode last.
That's true. They definitely played around with the formula a lot there. So it was probably the best.
Yeah, in previous seasons, Goggle Kids Digimon evolved to adult in the first or second episode, basically. Screenshot of the week, we've spoken about ours. Mine was Guilmon being really happy and wanting to play, and he's all squirmy. It's really cute. Mine
was Ruki doing the kick, though in episode 2 I was very tempted to replace it with upside down Terriermon.
Oh, when he's popping out of the tree. I uploaded a picture to our social media, and it was knock knock, who's there, interrupting Terriermon, who at Momentai!
And I like that one especially because it was double time. It was super fast.
Yeah.
It's just really... He goes, well, bam, I'm just here now.
Yeah, everything must be more aggressive in the 2x speed.
It's really funny, and so the things are a lot more sudden.
Next week you should make up for it by listening to it at 0.5 speed.
That's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Listen to a podcast on 0.5 speed.
I don't want to.
It is so fun.
I don't want to do that.
Everyone sounds like they're drinking.
Hi there.
They just sound a bit chill.
I'm Jay.
That's basically what they sound
Ray.
like.
Welcome to LostinTranslationmon. If you listen to that at like double speed, we'll sound normal.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
I doubt it.
Maybe one day we'll sound normal. The 2 Digimon introduced in this episode, we had Guilmon. What do you think?
I mean, he's alright.
Besides having a mullet.
He is kind of what you should have with an evolution. It's the dude, but bigger.
Yeah.
Also, again, looking back at like why people don't think that Ruki should be the rival, her Digimon turns into Guilmon.
Yeah.
Like it randomly becomes a big wolf because that's what it is.
Then we have Digimon, who we have seen before.
You've seen before. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
What other Digimon did we see that was new?
No, that was the one I don't know why you listed 2.
Guilmon and Digimon, that's 2.
I said we saw Digimon before. Why is that new?
Good point.
We saw tons of them, actually.
I like him, though. I like him.
He's sick.
Yeah, he'd helped Myotismon, didn't he?
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of them.
And then he helped the Kaiser after Edramon, because Edramon was too good.
So he had to die.
On to Postmon Pat, we have an iTunes review, which is amazing! 5 stars in iTunes by Diamondmon from USA on June 5th, 2016.
They didn't spell amazing with M-A-Y, though.
They should have. Or ajazing. Amazing.
Ajazing sounds like something next to vajazzling.
Anyway, so they say, I must say, this has been, so far, my favourite Digimon podcast.
Yes!
I'm also finding, from listening to a co-host Digimon disliker, I found there are smaller plot holes that I didn't notice from previously watching, and I'm finding his side commentary super funny.
Well, get ready for when Tamers comes out for you to not notice any of those things.
There are plot holes, though.
I know that.
I'm sure.
It's just I have a lot less time to pick the terrible parts of the show.
Yeah. And then they continue to say, I also have a suggestion for I Will Show You DigiWorld. I'm coming in late, so I'm not exactly if you've already done it. But you should show co-host Digimon Disliker the PS1 and 2 games and the Rumble Arena games plus the Digimon World games. And I will.
They don't know my name. I'm realizing that from the way it's spoken, is they don't know who I am, but we mentioned at the beginning of the episode and our names rhyme.
I think it might also be, but it might also be written for people who haven't listened to the podcast. So co-host Digimon Disliker.
You know what? I didn't think about it until you mentioned that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They gave us a request in the review, but it's a guarantee for us to read it, so why not?
Yeah, and we will be covering those games on our YouTube channel. We didn't have an episode last week because we've both been busy, and I'll try to get one out this weekend. Maybe
Assault. Yes, I'll play on Sunday, and I'm gonna be sad.
Oh, I was just gonna play Digimon World 2003 because I actually want to finish it. It's a really good game. On with the Will, Fexmith says, I don't know if, and this is for last week's episode, but they provided feedback for the episode before we recorded last week, because we recorded last week early. Anyway, so they say, I don't know if you'll have time to see this, and we didn't, sorry, but I think Terriermon's character song's really fun, especially because of what happens when he evolves in the middle of it, like about this time. In fact, Tamers has some really fun character songs, and the most adorable ones, Guilmon asking, why am I red? Why do I have to sleep? Why was I born? Is cute, but it becomes even more sweet when Takato answers, you have to sleep because you're tired. You were born because you are my treasure. Treasure.
You're good at English.
And I think I've shown you Terriermon's theme when we were hanging out.
Maybe.
I was playing it on my phone.
I mean, I probably
board
ignored
games
you.
last. Yeah, you were dancing along to it. You were saying Momentai. It was cute.
I probably ignored you.
And then Fexmith says, we finally have an evolution
Momentai! Interrupting Terrymon.
We finally have an evolution-focused episode this season. I wonder how Jay will compare to other seasons, and his thoughts on the mostly filler episode of Guilmon. The magical circle Guilmon draws when Devilmon shows up was pretty funny gag to him. And I agree, it was pretty funny. We also have Metal Marmimon, who says, I find that Juri being called Jen in the German dub part really interesting, because they also call her Jen in the European Spanish dub, and then Metal Marmimon says that they always wondered why, and maybe there's a correlation between both dubs. And maybe the European dubs tried to, have some consistency.
As far as I'm aware, European dubbing usually goes through the same, like house, I guess, or whatever. All European dubbing is done together. That's the way it is with video games. It's like English, and then it's, the Asian languages generally, and then there's Europe, which is why Europe gets delayed really hard, because the games have to have, 17 languages in them. I'm pretty sure, was it Yokai Watch that just came out there a few months ago? That's been out, a game you've had for 2 years?
No, it came out in November here, and it came out...
A game you've had for 7 years?
The start of the year. Go away.
And then, it makes sense that if in their beginning script they read Jen, that mistake would be in all of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So WildWing64 sent us a message that says, regarding the discussion of whether Ruki or Genria... Jen, right,
yeah,
is the rival character of the season. They'd probably say that Ruki is the better fit for that role, but more in the sense that she's the lone wolf ice queen who warms up to the others and happens to have a Caniform Digimon as their partner. But they're also not sure if they'd call it the rival character, because as far as they remember, neither Ruki or Takata really clash in the same way that Goggle Boys and rivals have in other seasons of Digimon.
I think that might just be because... she's a girl, and you can't hit girls, apparently.
It's just it's a slightly different dynamic, which I guess feels different enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, no one's clashing with Jen. No one.
Yeah, because except for maybe Terriermon.
Yeah, momentai.
WildWing64 continued to say, I'm only going by vague memory here, as I've only ever haven't watched Tamers in a while. But we don't really see any of that between Takato and Ruki. We see even less of it between him and Genra, who is instead the voice of reason within the group. If anything, Ruki sees Takato more as a pest who keeps getting in her way before warming up to him.
I mean, to be fair, Davis never had any rival either.
Yeah, and in the traditional sense.
Rivals are not as...
Yeah? Sorry, my hands really hurt. Continue?
Rivals aren't as, what's the word I'm looking for? Orthodox, I guess, as I think people think they are. Because we get a lot of, these are the things you need to have, this, and this, but it's not. On Reddit, we have Dot Yawning. I really just read it as Dota. I don't know.
Dota Wanning.
Dakota Fanning. And they also care.
So, onto Reddit, we have Dot Yawning, who says they also care about the appearance of Armor Evolution Digimon throughout this season. They also like how we said there was Bulbasaur against Charizard, in reference to Renamon against Alumon. And they say it's not too far off, actually, because Diamond Store is actually just really sharp magical leaves.
Is it?
Yep. And they think newer Digimon games might actually classify Renamon with the nature element too.
That's really weird. Also, made bots malfunctioning.
Yeah, that was the glitch that I had.
From Dak and Jackster, we got, when they first watched Tamers, they started to think that Calamon and Impmon might be the same character, but just being an in-training and rookie versions. They aren't seen in the same place at once for a while. Well, spoilers, I guess they're seen in the same place at once later. They're both mischievous and neither of them wanted Tamers. Although, I think one of them's legit and one of them's just Tsundering it really, really hard. And
my Misu says, so in regards to the ages, in the original everyone's 10, in the dub everyone is 13. So
that's weird.
Which is, that is quite, usually they age them up by a year or so, but that's quite a lot. On Tumblr, a Radiobot sends us a few messages. Oh, I read that as a Radiobot. I'm Homestuck trash. Anyway, a Ribbiterbot says, May, what's your favourite season of Digimon? Mine's Tamers, but Data Squad / Savers is a close second. Sometimes overtaking Tamers depending on my mood at the time. And I think Data Squad is really underrated as a season. Nobody ever talks about it as a season because for reasons that I'm not going to mention right now.
Okay.
Because Jay is here and
Duly noted.
we'll get to it when we watch it. And Tamers, I think, is a good season. I think it's overrated by the fandom, however, because people always say, oh, Tamers is the best. And, yes, it's good, but I don't know. And I also feel like, I mean, I also like Frontier, but that might be my nostalgia blindness going up, and I look forward to when we can cover Frontier. Oribitobot also says, in an old episode, May brought up later Digimon seasons. I was surprised she didn't mention that there was a Danganronpa character called Masaru Daimon, who happens to be the ultimate fighter. And I definitely noticed that when I was playing the Danganronpa 3, but I'm not sure if I mentioned in the show because we haven't spoken about Masaru yet.
Is that a character from later?
Yeah, he's the main character in Season 5.
Is that the one with the punching?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I guess it's a reference,
Yeah.
maybe?
Well, Season 5 came up before Danganronpa.
Oh, of course it did.
Yeah.
Also, they agree with me about X Evolution, because
Yeah.
of course you do, that movie sucks.
On to Slack, which is our Patreon-only Slack party, which is LostinTranslationmon, I think I've called it.
It's a really chill party, because we're all very slack there.
Yeah. Disaster Area 42 says, I have some input on the RPG question. There is an RPG called Monsters and Other Childish Things, where you play as a child and their imaginary friend, except your friend is actually a Lovecraftian nightmare hellbeast. It's fairly rules light, and by design makes it so you don't have to just make 2 characters for the kid and the monster. I've started hacking it a few times to handle Digivolution episodes, but I haven't really put much time into it. I really want to play Monsters and Other Childish Things now. That sounds really cool. Can we play that, please?
It sounds familiar. Like, it sounds like, but maybe I'm thinking of just like, there's a book that, there's a game that went through Kickstarter that I backed called Stygian, which is like it was like a Cthulhu RPG that's much heavier, obviously.
Yeah.
And they had one of the rewards was a book that looked kind of like that was described, and the front cover was like these cute kids or monster shapes, but kind of cute like silhouettes prancing across a field. Yeah, it could be like that, but maybe it just sounds similar.
You okay with reading the other ones?
Sure.
Cool.
On Gmail, we got from Chuckmon. They say, what's up with the color changes of the uploaded digital data? In the sub, they're pretty sure that digitized data is red at all times, but in the dub it is red and then it turns blue when it gets absorbed by Renamon. Are they wrong about that? They're not really sure. They don't remember blue in the subs.
I'm pretty sure it's because it depends on the Digimon that's absorbing it. So blue for Renamon because that's the colour of the Digivice, and that's sort of like her colour is blue. And then Guilmon is red, obviously, because he's red, and the Digivice is red. And that's just what I thought it was.
I think she should have red because it would be Redamon.
Oh no.
And they say that the English ruined episode 5, which was a bit scary and ominous. They hate how they had Guilmon make noise when he was on the shelf, just in case we wouldn't recognize his shape and might be scared. That's a term I used to use a long time ago, which I'll use again now, is that they really have to dumb it down for the Amerikids.
Yeah, just to make sure you know that it's Guilmon.
Just so you don't get confused and have to turn to your parents, because they don't want to talk to you while you're watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Nobody wants to talk to you when you're watching Digimon.
They're off banging in the bedroom or making breakfast. You know, one of those things. From Jason. They say that they really like how these last few episodes have been handling Ruki's relationship with Renamon. While the English version is a bit more heavy-handed, they actually think that's a good thing, since personally they feel like Riki is nicer to Renamon in the dub than in the original, even if the dub makes her meaner towards Takato and Henry than she was in the original. That said, keep in mind that she still says, oh, Digimon are just data, you can kill them, it's totally fine. Yet, she has those feelings which are very heavy-handed. It's weird, it's a lot of mixed messages, actually. For Jason, the things Ruki says and the ways she treats Renamon are a lot crueler than what Rika says and does. So it feels a lot less in character for her feelings about Renamon to be changing this early. They're interested in seeing if future developments, particularly next week's episode, manage to change how they view things. They know they're biased towards the dub, but they want to like Ruki because she's the original version of their favourite character. And right now, they're having a hard time with that. Hopefully future episodes help them grow and love her as much as it does with Rika. Yeah, I don't know. These 2 episodes did nothing for her, really. There's like one moment where she kind of smiles a little bit.
No, I like when she's still thinking Digimon are just data, and then she looks at her Renamon, and she's like, and there's no voice. It's just implied that she's thinking that she may be more than that.
We got one from Randy Butternubs, who, congratulations on your great name. They said they weren't sure about the new theme, but it seemed like it was elongated by looping sections, and it didn't really fit the imagery, so they tried throwing together a mock intro sequence. The audio is still pretty bad, since it was recorded in a busy room, but they think it comes across much better, and that's what we think.
I watched it, and yeah, there is some audio in the background, but I think it's good. I I'm gonna wait until the an actual official PV comes out before I actually watch more of the official one, because as I said, it's hard to really tell what's going on with what's in the background.
I didn't like the sound of the theme at all, and I'm not sure that editing it together makes it much better. And it's cool to tell. And to be totally honest, I have not watched it. I'm not going to be watching anything about English Try until it comes out, when I have to sadly watch all of Try again.
Yeah.
And finally, we got one from Ashley from Prodigious, who says that they think that the criticism of Rika as a character compared to Ruki is a bit unfair. And they ask us to forgive them if our image of her has improved in episodes 5 and 6. Within the English dubbed universe, in which Kazu is casually sexist and the random side characters you never see again are casually sexist, and it implies that Renamon has also encountered similar sexism, since she also tries to weaponize gender through things like her sultry voice. It's harsh to seemingly lay most of the blame on Rika. She's angry and lashing out at Renamon and others, since most people question her power and legitimacy because of her gender. Within the world set out by the dub, her angry tomboy character type makes a lot of sense, and is seemingly supposed to be sympathetic, in many ways because of Digimon's audience, mostly male, and because of the dub, for the most part, plays these gender stereotypes pretty straight, instead of trying harder to subvert them. Her character comes off as abrasive and, apparently, unsympathetic, but loathing her character more than loathing the changes made to Kazu and randoms on the street, and not acknowledging that they pretty much made her this way, is feeding way more into the sexism the show is ostensibly trying to circumvent, and again, does a poor job of, but because of all the other characters becoming garbage, not because of Rika. It's important to remember that Rika lives in a box of gender norms, and I think it's our job as viewers to break her out of it, not keep her there while hurling more anger at her for not being as nice. I think that is a legitimate sentiment. However, I think that we generally have this just really broad hatred of all the weird, strange extra stuff they do to the world.
Yeah.
We focus on her as a character and the changes made directly. I guess we do them in a bit of a vacuum, which might be a bit myopic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know if the writers did a good job of creating that. I think that might be reading into it.
See, I have sort of I'm not sure if I like Ruki or not. I feel like I like her, but then sometimes I'm like, maybe I don't, because I feel like if I had a Digimon, I would be more loving to it, but I feel like that's just her personality, and we shouldn't, be mean to her personality.
Yeah, and I think that if you do the full analysis of the entire world, that's one thing. But I never, ever get the feeling, because of weird decisions like making people casually sexist and everything,
Yeah.
I don't feel like a decision to make her more harsh is intentional. I think that is the result of sexism directly, because she's the girl and this is how she is.
I feel she was still better in these episodes in the dub.
Yeah, she was fine. I don't know. We'll see how she is overall. She's definitely not the degree of new character that Mumu was.
Yeah.
Which is why we've kind of gone back to just saying her name.
Yeah, instead of Ruru, because in the first few episodes it seemed like it was a drastic change.
Yeah.
But it's sort of softened now, and it seems to be less of a change. But yeah, that's why she gets her own name.
So, I mean, I'm not going to talk about... I don't have the time to sit down and think through all of the characters' motivations at all times if they're not immediately there, because I'm not...
Kazu was definitely a lot worse.
Oh, he's garbage.
Yeah, in the English version.
Yeah.
In the original, he as I said, he says, "Hey, Jury, I'll teach you how to play cards, and maybe you'll be better than the Digimon Queen." And he's encouraging, instead of just saying, "Oh, this is for men. This is men. Men tough. Men punch."
My job here is to give first impressions. And then to have a more in-depth analysis of media in general.
Yeah.
Yours is to sit down and think about
Yeah, but I
everybody's
don't.
motivations.
I just like Digimon.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have the more complex outside opinions sometimes. Alright, everybody, join us for the next episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, not as seen on TV.
Or go back to Guilmon, the Growlmon incident.
And the Icemon cometh.
Or Ranamon is my friend! Ruki's hesitation.
Is this where Ice Devimon comes in?
Maybe. It's about an Icemon.
The Icemon cometh nigh.
The link dump will be in the description, and you can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can also follow us on social media. So we're at TranslationMon on Twitter and on Vine. You can find us on LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit. We'd appreciate it if you were to review us on iTunes and or Stitcher.
Thanks to our Patreon supporters, Stevie, who hosts a podcast with another supporter, Sam Krieger, called The Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon. Wu Qinglong at www.twitch.tv/Wu Qinglong. Metal Mamemon, Joe, Penguin Mage, Anime Guy, you can find it Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube. Chuckmon, Ishbal Bamba, Hiro Ilato, you can find it Hiro Ilato on Twitter. Jason Morosky, Frost Mr. Ragic.
Maragic, I think it's Maragic. Maragic.
Who you can find it at Frost Maragic on Twitter, and Stephen Reeves, you can find it at WildWings64 on Twitter.
You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description, and make sure to let us know that it's for the podcast, so I know to give some to Jay, because that'd be cool.
Or if you want to donate straight to me, I guess you can just not say anything.
Donate to the May Fund.
To buy more Digimon gear.
Anyway, so we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully it won't be past midnight when we're recording.
Bye.
And I can go to sleep. Bye!